Good morning, everybody. So thirsty, not a euphemism, although I am kind of that thirsty too. It has been, look at all the white dog hair on my black t shirt. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 21 of What the WTF, which, by the way, nobody has guessed what that is from. And I can't believe it. I bet if you just Googled quotes, what the WTF, you'd probably find the answer. I don't know. You're not going to get anything from me, just my undying love and respect. But if you're curious to be the sleuth, to put on your Nancy Drew or your Hardy Boys hat, oh, I'm looking buff today. My workout is paying off. It is from a show. It's a quote from a show, Pixie. But nobody has guessed the show. And I've given you hints. It's a comedy series. It's on Netflix. It's no longer in production. I think it was 3 or 4 seasons. Let's see. There was a woman and a man were the two main figures. John Hamm was in it. So that's your cue or your clue. Here we are, day 21. What the WTF? What's going on? Not Arrested Development, although kind of in that same vein, sort of like twisted comedy. How is everyone? How are you doing? Not Apartment 2B. I hope you're all doing well. I know I have the whole text thread on high alert to figure out what the WTF comes from. Welcome, everybody. If you would like to participate in the live stream chat, then all you have to do is be a subscriber. I have it set to subscriber mode to minimize the porn bots, although some of them still find their way through. Happy Tuesday. Happy April 30th. Oh my gosh, tomorrow is May. Here we are on day 21 of this 30-day experiment. What is going to happen at the end of 30 days? I don't know. But I can tell you what's not going to happen, whatever it is my mind is expecting. And, after yesterday's fire, who knows where today's stream is going to take us. I think that's the whole point for me anyway, has been the joy of being able to reconnect with just my love for communication, my love for facilitating groups, my love for creating spaces where people can connect. It's what I'm good at. It's what's innate. It's what's effortless. And for me, that has been everything. I don't consider myself to be a businessman, and that has been a huge revelation for me in these past couple of weeks. Oh, wow. Happy birthday to your son, Kenny. To realize that I am not a businessman, and I don't want to be a businessman in that sense. I'm not interested in that sort of archaic hoarding kind of like, I don't know. I'm not a businessman. I have a practice. I am an artist. I am a creator. I am a vessel for whatever the divine wants to move through me, and figuring out a way to offer that, in a way that feels authentic, in a way that feels true and natural and organic for me, in a way that feels inspiring and inspired and fulfilling. And it's just about showing up. It's just about showing up. And that's what I've loved about just showing up, and it reminds me of one of the things that a friend of mine, colleague of mine, told me years ago. And she said, don't underestimate what you know. And what she meant by that is, we were talking about our practices. She also has a practice, a healing practice. And she was very successful at the time. I'm not really close with her anymore, so I don't know. But at the time, she was incredibly successful. And, one of the things that she shared with me, which I found to be such sage wisdom and advice, and is something that I have never forgotten and that I want to share with you here because I think it's a really, really important thing to root into. And she said, never underestimate what you know. She said, never take for granted that what you assume everybody knows in terms of, how you do things or the way that you perceive yourself or how you move through the world or navigate or self-heal or shadow work or whatever the thing is. Whatever the thing is, don't underestimate what you know and how you do it, because she said, I guarantee you There are people out there who are going to hear or see you sharing what you just take for granted as like, oh, this is just sort of walking around common sense. Like everybody knows this. She said, I guarantee you, at least 50% of the people who you're engaging with will not have thought of that or seen that or experienced that before. She said, I guarantee you the things that you just assume everybody knows, said there are going to be people that is going to be a revelation. That is going to be the inside of like, holy fuck, that just changed everything. And so I've never forgotten that. I've always remembered that, and this is one of the things that has been a beautiful thread here for me receiving from you is that, sometimes it's just the presence. Sometimes it's just the space. Sometimes it's just creating an opportunity for you just to show up and be in your space, be in your energy, be in yourself, find your center, find your grounding, find whatever. And it's been a really good reminder that when we are aligned with our intentions, when we are aligned with our soul's purpose, when we are aligned with what we, in the complete and total sense, not just the human self, but when we are aligned with what we came here to do, that's when it is effortless. That's when it is magical. That's when it is inspiring and inspired and liberating and liberated. So you find your groove and then you play in there, right? You ride that wave, you ride that energy. And so just being reminded over and over again that what I know and what I offer and just my presence for a lot of people is enough, and that I don't have to earn or perform or have something to offer. Like I've been saying, it's not a potluck. You can just show up as you are. You don't have to bring anything. But it reminds me of a lot of conversations I've been having, and the way that I'm threading this together, I suppose this would be for anybody who is self-employed or a healer or has their own practice or who is trying to find a way to, make a living from their passion, right? From what you love, what excites you, what lights you up, and figuring out a way like, how can I create a system where I offer this and share this and create this, and then in return, it's reciprocated and I receive what I need in return. I love Bashar's definition of abundance, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, i.e., abundance is I always have what I need in the moment that I need it. But one of the things that I'm seeing a lot, especially I kind of with everybody, and so those who are self-employed and perhaps working for themselves are trying to figure out like, how do I make it work now? Those who perhaps are working for other people or who are underemployed but really want to take a passion or a dream or a desire or a drive and turn it into something that can feed them in return. Across the board, the message that is coming through is go back to your basics. Go back to your foundational elements. Go back to the things that you love to do that are effortless and easy and simple, and you don't have to think about it and you don't have to struggle. And it's something that you enjoy doing it, and you can just do it without a lot of preparation or without a lot of energy. So for me, that was, I just put me in a chair on a stage in front of a group, in front of a laptop, in front of whatever. Just put me in a chair, give me a microphone, and I can riff and talk on anything under the sun. I can find a connection and a through line and a thread of authenticity in any conversation, in any topic, with anybody. That is a gift. That is one of my superpowers. So rather than try to make that be something different or force that to be something that it's not, I just leaned into that and I said, hey, you're my superpower. I'm going to let you run the show. I'm going to let my motor mouth run the show. I'm going to let the fact that I have about 1 billion planets ruled by Mercury, messenger of the gods. I am the supreme communicator, and I have all this air sign. So I'm up there in the airy, fairy, forward thinking, future thinking energy. And then I'm down here in the earth sign energy, which is the other half of my chart. It's pretty much all earth and air. So my job, my ability, my gift is to take really high level concepts and distill them down into something that anybody can access. Whether you are a stay-at-home parent, whether you work at Starbucks, whether you work on an oil rig, whether you are a Wall Street tycoon, whatever, I can connect with you. So I stopped trying to reinvent that. I stopped trying to complicate that. And I just went back to the simplicity and said, okay, then I'm just going to show up and communicate. I'm going to allow myself to be used by spirit in service of whoever shows up for these 30 days and is willing to listen to me carry on. I trust that what comes through is going to serve somebody in some way. And that's all I need to know. A similar vein or thread of this is I do have this group of I love that goat, Curtis. I do have this group of clients who are artists. One is a painter, one is a poet, one is a sculptor, one is a dancer, sort of performance artist. And all of them are going through a very similar experience where creatively their voice is changing. The muse has changed, the muse has evolved. What inspires them, what moves through them, what wants to be expressed, what they're interested in and curious about is changing. It's totally different. And all of them at one point, it's been a couple of months. I mean, this was like February, March that I was, speaking with them in sessions, but all of them, the answer was just go back to basics. This is art school 101, sketch, draw, do your morning pages, just give yourself a challenge, right? Lean into just drawing exercises and creative exercises and, allow yourself to be new again, allow yourself to be, the neophyte, the initiate again. Just go back to what you know. Go back to what you love. Go back to what excites you or lights you up. Go back to the thing that you abandoned at what 7, 8, 10 years old because all of the well-meaning adults in your vicinity were saying, "Oh, you can't make money doing that. Be practical, be smart, don't be silly, don't be a dreamer, do something real, do something serious, do something, whatever." So it's about reclaiming yourself from your life, right? It's about reclaiming yourself from yourself. It's about reclaiming yourself from whatever identity you have been investing yourself in. It's about just reclaiming yourself and saying, this is what I want. This is what excites me. This is what I love. And here's the thing, you don't even have to know how it's going to happen. You don't have to know. In fact, I would say if you're focused more on the how do I turn this into something that can feed me and pay my bills and pay my rent, you're moving in the wrong direction. Trust me, as someone who is speaking from experience, I understand why you want to find a way to monetize or profitize what it is that you do and do well and love to do and do effortlessly and would probably do anyway, even if you weren't getting paid. But it's not about that. Success follows happiness and fulfillment. Success is a side effect of alignment. Success is the gravy that comes as a result of you becoming allegiant to your passion, your desire, your excitement, your curiosity, and your interest. So reclaiming yourself from yourself and saying, I don't want to do that anymore. This is what I want to do. In fact, I've always wanted to do this and I never wanted to do that, but now I'm just finally letting myself admit, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission just to be curious. And you don't have to figure out, again, I'm going to repeat this. You don't have to figure out how to turn it into a thing. You just have to show up every day and dance with it. If you love to cook or bake or paint or write or draw or make music, whatever it is, just find time in your day, even if you are working for someone else, even if you feel like you're a million miles away from realizing your dream, it doesn't matter. Show up for yourself, for your gifts, for spirit, and ask yourself, how can I be of service to my dream today? How can I be of service to my skills today? How can I be of service to my magic and my power and my medicine today? How can I be of service to my mastery today? That's when things begin to shift. That's when things begin to switch. And if you just promise yourself, you pinky promise yourself that no matter what, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give myself at least 5 minutes where I just get to follow what I love, be curious about what I love, investigate what I love. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. And let spirit pave the path for you. This is the trick with co-creation, y'all. Co-creation. Co-creation. Co-creation means more than one individual, more than one being, more than one set of eyes, more than one, level of consciousness focused in the thing, doing the thing. Spirit is your partner. You are your partner. You wanted to come here, so you gave yourself a human experience, you gave yourself a human identity, you gave yourself a human body so that you could experience what you wanted to experience. So remember that. So if you don't like what you're seeing in front of you, again, what do? You go inside, you go up the chain. Hey, me up there, what the hell's going on? What is going on? Because I thought we were going one way and now we're going another way. You just have to find yourself. You just have to find your own connection and just become kind of an asshole about shutting out everybody else. And you can say, listen, you might think of being an asshole right now. I promise you, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not ghosting you. I'm not silencing you or canceling you. I just need to hear nothing other than my own thoughts and ideas and inspirations right now. Take a social media break. Stop listening to even my stuff. Just like disappear for 30 days or for a week or for 36 hours. Just disappear and give yourself the wherewithal, the grace, the gift, the privilege, the permission to be yourself, to do what you want to do, to explore what's exciting, what's invigorating, what's enticing. You know, life will be lived either on purpose or by default. And if you don't live life, it's going to live you. And here's the thing. The soul is always, when it's given a choice, going to choose the path of least resistance. If the soul, and it always wants the fastest, right? If the soul has a choice between, oh, let's take this easy, sort of slow, meandering path to the top. Let's take about 20 years to get to the top. If you have that choice, or hey, let's do the sheer face from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, straight to the top, totally vertical, no, no net, no safety, just go. The soul will always choose this route. So when you decide, hey, maybe I want it easy, maybe I want it challenging, maybe I want it somewhere in between, that is what you get to choose. You get to choose how you feel about it. You get to choose how you respond to it. So let yourself be. I promise you, all of the people that you are so worried about judging you or watching you and talking behind your back or laughing at you or pointing or whatever, girl, they ain't even paying that much attention. They're either so worried about their own stuff that they're too busy to even pay attention to you, or they're so seduced by the Real Housewives of Shut the Fuck Up, Please, that they don't even understand like what reality they're in. So you just, yeah, that's it, Britt. Put yourself in airplane mode, put yourself in rice and let yourself sit for 48 hours. So you have to decide. You have to decide. And I've asked you these questions several times. And if you review my April Ascension report, Breaking Through, these were the main questions. Who's in charge of you? Who's in charge of you? Who does this serve? When you're getting ready to do something, choose something, create something, ask yourself, who does this serve? Who's in charge of you? Who does this serve? And there's another one that I forgot, but who does it serve or who's in charge of me? Oh yeah, who calls the shots? Who's in charge of me? Who calls the shots? And who does this serve? Those three questions, if answered honestly in each and every moment, will always ensure that you are headed towards yourself, will always ensure that the path you are on is the one that you chose. Just let yourself be and see what happens. It might be really interesting to see what happens when you don't try. It might be really interesting to see what happens when you say, Spirit, I don't know how to solve this, so I'm going to give it to you. Here you go. Let me know when you need me. Let me know when there's an action or a choice that I need to take. Let me know, and I'm here, right? And I'll show up every day, and I'm connected, and I'm present, and I'm doing my job, and I'm doing my duty to be the best human I can be. But if you don't have an answer, if you don't know what to do, stop. Just let yourself be. Turn towards what you love. That's what I did on day one of the series. As I was sitting there having this conversation with myself about like all these people saying, oh, I had a dark night of the soul. And then the day after that, I had a sandwich and took a nap and now I'm fine. And I'm like, what the hell? My dark night of the soul's been going on for 7+ years. And so what do? Well, I just turn to what I love. I turn to what I know. I turn to what's already here, which is you and this channel and my big old mouth and my connection to the divine and my willingness just to sit myself down and open my mouth and just let it come out. So find your thing like that. What is it that you can do effortlessly? What is it that you can do that you assume everyone else can do and that you think, oh, no one will care about this. No one will think this is fancy. No one will be excited about this. I promise you they will. At least half of them will. So, what is the thing? And there's another way to look at it too. What do you consistently hear from other people? People who love you, care about you, or are close to you, or admire you. What do you hear? The one thing that I heard consistently throughout my life, in all of my jobs and all of my businesses and all the things that I did, oh my God, you always know exactly what to say. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. How are you in my head? How do you know what I was thinking? Oh my God, how did you know that I needed to hear that? Oh my God, how did you know what I was taught? Like I just always knew. I always knew, even as a kid, I always knew. I talk about that in the opening chapter of Notes from the Higher Self by me, Amar, available on Amazon. I talk about that, how as a kid, I could always tell what was going on behind the words. I could always tell what was going on beneath the surface and under the hood. Always. Always. And not only did I know when they were lying, I almost always also knew what they were lying about. So not only could I tell when what they were saying wasn't true, I could actually use what they were saying to find out what they were actually trying not to say. Do you follow me? I've just always known. Since the day I took my first breath in this body, I have just always known. So that's what I lean into. That's what people get when they work with me. Is there is something in me that always knows how to make a beeline for the truth. The beeline for the thing that is the piece that you can move and work with to unlock everything else. The link in the chain that's ready to break, or the link in the chain that's ready to reconnect, whatever it is. I just know. That I am never in question about. That I never doubt. And I will also tell you this. This is one thing that I'm learning over the 30-day experiment of what the WTF is. The more that I allow my medicine, my gifts to simply be, i.e., I'm not editing, I'm not censoring, I'm just letting my full wingspan unfurl every single time. The power, the ability, the magic, the medicine, it gets stronger, it gets deeper, it gets richer. Imagine if you were working out. Do you remember that movie, Lady in the Water, that M. Night Shyamalan movie? Who, let's just talk about M. Night Shyamalan for a second. My God, what a fucking con artist supreme. He makes one good movie and then everything else he makes is a piece of total fucking shit, but he still gets multi-million dollar budgets. And anyway, I digress. But you know that movie, Lady in the Water? And okay, maybe this is like a spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie, but it's a really fucking dumb movie, so please don't watch it. But when he's like only exercising one side of his body, like he only exercises one arm, think of it like that. If you kept one arm from working out all of the time, it would never be able to show you what it was capable of. It would never be able to show you how strong you actually are. But once you start using it, once you start exercising it, once you start taking it out and giving it, or taking it for a ride around the block, then it starts to show you what you can do. Your gifts are the same. Your gifts are the same. Once you tap into them and give them permission to start flexing and building and expanding and growing and experiment, like once you give them permission to do what they can do, they will amaze you. They will blow your mind with how far they can take you and the reaches to which they can go in service of you. So, what are you waiting for? And I mean that legitimately. Like, that's an actual question. This is not rhetorical. The thing, and I know that most of you have an idea of what I'm talking about. If I'm talking about the thing you haven't wanted to do, or the thing you wanted to do but haven't, the thing that you've been afraid to do but know you have to, the thing you're really curious about, but for whatever reason you just won't let yourself look at it. Girl, it's not fucking Medusa. It's not going to turn you to stone. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because I guarantee you, it's not a real reason. It's not. It's not a real reason. It's not. I don't believe you. It's not a real reason. When you want something, you will do it. When it's time for something, it's time for something. And until it's time for something, it's not time. So if it's not time, then that's fine. Just acknowledge that it's not time. Okay, it's not time. I'm not going to do it. Or you just say, I'm not doing that. And you cut it off. But there's a thing you want to do. I know there is. So what are you waiting for? And you might say, oh, well, I'm going to fail. I can't do it. What if I don't succeed? Well, time is going to pass anyway. So how can you fail at something you haven't tried? How can you succeed at something you haven't tried? And if you're not even willing to try it, then I'd say you've already failed. So your fear of failure is actually your failure. Your fear of commitment is actually your inability to commit manifesting itself. So the fear of failure is just the failure manifesting itself. So what you can say is, oh, I'm afraid of something that's already here. Let that blow your mind. Until you've done it, you've basically failed. So the fear of failure is irrelevant because you're already failing. So what are you afraid of? The thing that's already happening and you're still alive and everything's fine and you're not suffering and you're not struggling? Just do it. Just do it. Otherwise, you've just failed. And there's nothing wrong with failing. You can just say, yep, I failed at that. I failed so hard I didn't even try. That's how hard I failed. So you just need to decide, do you want it or not? Because we are at this turning point. I've got an update brewing for May. It should be coming out in the next few days if I can get my shit together. But we are at this point where there's really no turning back. And that is not meant to be doom and gloom, ominous, like warning. It's just saying the doors to the old reality of limitation and lack and scarcity, which by the way are all human creations. Did you know that? Scarcity, lack, limitation, these are all human creations. They do not exist anywhere in nature naturally. But if you aren't willing to step over that threshold, then the doors will close in front of you and you'll just be there. And that's fine. You can be there. But we are reaching a point where it's time to just step across the threshold, and you can be afraid. You can step over the threshold fearfully. You can step over the threshold in a confused state. You can step over the threshold going, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just going to do this because I just want to, right? So you don't have to know anything. You just have to acknowledge that it's time to step across the threshold, right? Like when you were born, you were a baby, you didn't know anything, right? You're just in this world and it's bright and it's noisy. And who are all these people and these sounds and this too much stimulus? But you were there, you made it. You crossed the threshold, you made it through the birth canal, you popped out, maybe not popped out, probably took a few more hours than that, but you were there, right? Here I am, oh God, and you succeeded. You're today years old and you're still here. So the other bullshit lie is that just because you don't know how to do something means you can't do it, or that you're going to fail, or that it's going to be hard, or that you're going to be a disaster. Well, maybe it'll be difficult, and maybe you will be a disaster, but who cares? You're trying, you're doing, you're choosing, you're creating, you're acting, you're doing it deliberately, you're doing it on purpose. You don't worry about, okay, well, who cares if they laugh at me? What the fuck are they doing? Like that, let those who are laughing at those who are laughing at those who are following their dreams aren't following their dreams. Unless your dream was to stand on the sidelines and laugh at people who are trying and be an asshole, then congratulations, you succeeded, but let them laugh, because what are you doing, dude? I'm out here living my dream. What are you doing? Watching another fucking episode of The Real Housewives is Please Shut the Fuck Up and Never Come Back? Please go away so no one can ever find you again? Why do you care what other people think? I mean, I understand why you care, right? Because we're social creatures, we're tribal animals. So of course we have this intrinsic inherent need to connect with other people. But yeah, when you were a baby, you didn't know, you didn't care, you just pooped your pants in public, right? You're just sitting there, a table full of people, ooh, gotta go, let it rip. So what has changed? I mean, maybe, it's a good thing that we know our toilet trained and we go to the bathroom. Oh my God, this is delirious. But this is my point. Like, what are you waiting for? Everybody poops. Everybody pees. Everybody farts. Everybody burps. Everybody has stinky moments. Everybody has moments where they look amazing. Everybody has moments where they walk into the room and everyone goes, oh, what the fuck happened to you? We're all human. We're all making messes. We're all scratching our asses and looking up at the sun. Like we don't know. So just do what you want to fucking do. Look, there's 8 billion other people on this planet, give or take. It's okay. Like you're not alone. There's also 700,999,999,999 other people who also don't know what they're doing. So if I have a choice between I'm going to stand on the sidelines with the crowd of thousands who are all looking out onto the field, or if I have the choice to be the one on the field who's getting laughed at and pointed at and looked at like I'm weird, but hey, I'm on the field because that's where I want to be. I'm on the field because that's where I chose to be. I'm on the field because it's fun for me. And okay, maybe I look stupid. Maybe I look silly making them fucking shit up, but I don't care. I'm happy. I'm having a great time. I'm living life. So what are you doing on the side of the field laughing at everybody else on the field who's playing the game actively and on purpose and deliberately? I don't know. I love that, Elizabeth. No, just unicorn farts. I don't sweat, I glisten. I don't fart, I just have a confetti cannon. So you just got to do you. You just got to let people have their opinion. Because here's the other thing, people are going to have opinions about you regardless of what you're doing or not doing. People are going to have opinions anyway. Time, Everybody Poops by REM. There's a good cover for you, Sophia. Time is going to pass, or the illusion of time is going to pass anyway. Tomorrow is May 1st. Or if you're on the other side of the world, tomorrow's May 2nd. But the day is going to pass. The cycle's going to turn. The sun is going to rise and it's going to set. And what are you going to be doing? Still sitting there going, oh, I wish I could do this. Who's stopping you, babe? Who's stopping you? So if this is what you need, then I'm giving you permission to go do the thing. Yes, I love that cat. Everybody challenge yourself today. Challenge yourself. Do something that feels a little bit scary. And for some of you, and it's all relative, right? For some of you who are control freaks, if you have maybe some mild PTSD, putting your fork on the right side of the table as opposed to the left side of the table, that might be the scary thing for you. And I'm not kidding. Find something that pushes you to the edge of the comfort zone and do it. Maybe it's asking someone out. Maybe it's swiping right on someone that you haven't, whatever. I don't care. Just do something that you go, ooh, right? And how do you know? It's like the roller coaster, right? The roller coaster, when you're on it, it's going click, 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 and you're going up the incline. You're like, oh my God, what am I doing? And it's scary, but it's not real scary because you're on the roller coaster and you're going to be safe. And even if you die, well, then okay, there's no problem there. If I die, then there are no problems. Then poof, suddenly everything's gone and I don't have anything to worry about. So it's like the roller coaster and you did it and you're excited, but you're also scared and you're nervous and you're anxious, but you love the thrill. Do that. Do that. And just have fun. Just have fun. Just do you. Because what else are you going to do? Spend another day wishing you could do what you want to do? I give you permission to do it. Do it. And then tomorrow, we're going to flood the comments with all the things that we did. And don't forget, what we're doing from now on is marking every ad on, on Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform. Mark them all as spam, even ads for things you like and want. Even my ads, if I had them, I don't. But if I did, you could mark mine as spam. I would mark my own as spam, right? If social media asks you, do you like this post? And you do, say you don't. If you don't like the post, say you do. The next time you're asked for your demographic information, add 50 years to your age or subtract 50 years, change your gender, change your nationality, change your race, just fuck it all up. fuck it all up. This is my favorite passive aggressive Virgo, like favorite little petty hobby that I love to do. Just fuck with it. Fuck with it. What the fuck is it going to do? Suspend your account? Ooh, I lost my Instagram account. Help me. What am I going to do? What about all those influencers? How am I going to know what piece of shit plastic crap they're shilling this week? Girl, no. No. All right. That's it. You have my permission. Fuck shit up. Be a chaos agent. Be a rebel. Be a pot stirrer. Be a shit starter. That's what you should do. Just be weird. Like, you know what I used to do? When I was thinking about this the other day, when I was a kid, I used to take an empty aluminum can, like soda can, Coke can, and I put that in the middle of my bedroom on the floor, and I would stare at it, willing it to move. Like I knew that I had telekinetic powers, and I was just doing my best to remember how to use it. Like I knew I could do it. So go sit in a park, in a public place, put a can on the ground, and then just sit there and stare at the can. And when people ask you, what are you doing? Say, I'm reactivating my powers of telekinesis. Do you want to be next? And then stare at them. Okay, I'm officially delirious, so we're going to call this one done. Thank you, everybody. This has been so much fun. Like, I love hanging out with y'all every single day. I don't know what we're going to do on day 30 once it's done. Maybe we'll just have to keep it up. We'll see. Love you all. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, for real, like, share, and subscribe. All of my links are in the description box if you want to donate. PayPal and Stripe are there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Today's the last day to book a session on my discounted rates. Love y'all. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.